Brambro back with some Grand Tactician Civil War USA campaign on Very Hard, Very High. Okay, so here's the bird's eye view of the entire map, and we have pushed on a broad front down, and we are entering the deep south. McClellan's army is here, just defeated Polk at the Battle of Cassville in the last episode, and Polk has retreated to Atlanta, but that army is down to about 6,500, 7,000 men. It's a shadow of its former self. I would expect that we'll move into Atlanta and Polk will probably just retreat. Grant's Army of the Tennessee has crossed to the south side of the Tennessee River in northern Alabama, having taken Decatur. Got a little bit of supply issues, and they are restocking food and provisions and forage and so forth before moving further south. Got a rail line coming down from Nashville. Got a navigable river. Got one supply depot built and one just about finished. I believe that situation will rectify itself pretty quickly. Some advanced work going on here. Engineering Corps putting together a supply depot which should be in place to support further moves down the Tuscaloosa and Montgomery. And Army of the Mississippi is kind of marking time here for a short while, and then he'll move on south to Jackson and Vicksburg once Grant gets moving up here. He's sticking here just so that this engineering corps isn't completely sticking out all by its lonesome. Still got our spy squadron over here on the Arkansas, keeping an eye on the Western Army, which has not moved since the campaign start. No change at all in the Missouri, Arkansas, in the Trans-Mississippi Theater. Since day one. I mean, it's weird. Okay. We had brought the Army of the Atlantic, the 8th Corps, out around the Cape and landed them here at Morehead City, and that siege has actually commenced. And it looks like it's considered slightly in our favor. Having already taken down Fort Norfolk, 8th Corps is getting fairly close to their first perk, and that will be the siege perk when we open it. And that'll probably occur before this siege is over. And that leaves Virginia. This concentration here at Charlottesville, Army of the Potomac and Army of the Northwest, there is still a Confederate Army of the Shenandoah somewhere unlocated. But after the reduction of Polk's force at Cassville, this is really the only significant Confederate army remaining in the field. Army of the Northwest estimated about 14,000, Army of the Potomac about 19,000. So we're looking at, 33,000 men here. And that's about it. That is that represents about half of the entire Confederate military right there. They've dropped now down to 71,000, and a lot of that, I think, is casualties after the drop since the last time we looked. I think a big part of that difference is the casualties that Polk took at Cassville last episode. About 52, 53% losses in that army. It was 8,000 men. He does have over 100,000 tons of Navy sitting somewhere or building. I don't know what to make of that. let's not. I suspect that's a lot of ironclads that are still building. They take forever to build. The Confederate available ones do. The Union's ironclad monitors aren't bad. They take less than 6 months. But like the ironclad casemate that the Confederacy gets, yeah, that Boba takes forever, like a year. So I think that may be a lot of that tonnage that is reflected there. And those things also suck up a lot of resources. So maybe that has played some part in how not so good the Confederacy is doing. I did notice one thing, though, that is, look at this weapons industry. 11.8. And that is after we have taken their 3 biggest weapons producing facilities and 2 or 3 of their main iron producing foundries that supply those facilities. So this 11.8, I don't know what to make of that. Either the actual weapons production mechanics in the game are divorced from the economy, which I find hard to believe, or weapons industry here accounts for imported weapons. And that would make sense because the AI CSA here has gone very heavy into diplomacy. I think they've gone all the way to diplomacy 5. If not, they've at least gone to diplomacy 4, which means they've unlocked all kinds of weapons up to, and if they've gone diplomacy 5, that includes like the Dreiss needle gun. So maybe the availability of European weapons is included in this number. And if that's true, then yeah, that makes sense. So I hope that's the case. Because if it isn't, then I got economy questions about what's going on under the hood. Okay, enough of that. So I think what we're going to do here is we're just going to pile in and we're going to do our best to pummel this remaining army. That's what it's going to take to end this war. And I've had First Corps sitting here building a fort at Petersburg. I don't need it. I mean, a lot of the fort building I do is, I just plop a fort, is because I don't have an immediate plan at that moment for that corps, and I just know that building stuff increases XP for perk slots. But I'm not going to wait on this fort. It is late July. And so I want to bring this wall to a close. Why a Union guy would talk with a outrageous fake Southern accent, I don't know. So we're going to send First Corps, offensive stance, okay. I'm going to send First Corps and 6th Corps toward this army. And Hooker is in position up here. The idea is when these guys retreat, their closest IIP is Stanton. They retreat over here, and then boom, Hooker pitches into them and forces them to retreat further. You know, before they have a chance to recover their morale and everything. So they won't offer battle. They'll just retreat further. It's kind of my plan there. Same thing with this fort. I mean, yeah, it'd be useful there, but I was mainly just doing it so Hooker got some XP. And one other thing I wanted to do, I mean, kind of the, haven't harped on it a lot, but kind of in my mind, one of the themes of this campaign was the core leadership team of Hancock, Gibbon, Bernie, Barlow from the thumbnail photo that I used. And my idea was I wanted a core with those guys in charge, and I haven't actually done that yet. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up. All right, so Hancock is already a corps commander, and Gibbon is one of his division commanders. So I want to put Barlow and Bernie in these two commands, which kind of, I mean, Kearney's pretty decent. So I need, yeah, I think Kearney's going to come over here and take Kime's division. So, first thing we need to do, and Bernie and Barlow aren't great. This is a role play thing. This is not optimal, right? Don't do this at home, kids. I just wanted to have these guys in for the last battle. So, let's just find a decent colonel, maybe. Not that guy. Okay. I don't know if we're going to have... Patrick would be all right. He is a major, so he's getting bumped up 2 levels. He'll be fine. So Patrick and... Who's the highest leadership guy I have who's already a colonel? Ugh. All right, Harvey. Welcome to Brigade Command. Right, we'll put Bernie in charge of this division. Put Barlow in charge of this division. And we're doing a little army reorganization. This is now the 2nd Corps, which means Hooker is now the 1st Corps. Meanwhile, Kearney is too good to leave on the sideline. We're going to go ahead and replace Kime with Kearney, who somehow inexplicably lost a leadership star. What's up with that? Huh. And also Sheridan. Sheridan and Sherman need to be in division command. Okay, Tyler wasn't awesome, but he was better than this. I guess when you take guys out of their commands, that alone makes them drop in leadership. I had never noticed that before. I just saw it happen twice. We just saw it happen twice there. And we'll put Tyler in there. He's been demoted. And he's done fine, too. He doesn't deserve that. Capricious General Brambro is screwing him over. And Sherman definitely needs to come out. These guys have biographical notes, so I don't think these are random generated. They just don't have a portrait available for them, I guess. Oh my gosh. These guys are not too... That guy's not terrible. He's a volunteer, though. He's going to suck if I bump him 2 ranks. This guy might not, though. He's a West Pointer. Let's see what... We'll go with Lavelle. Right, so we have Sherman and Sheridan available. We expect 6th Corps to be involved in this next attack. Ooh. Okay, Hamilton's doing pretty good. We're going to leave him alone. And George Thomas is here. I don't think I want to replace him. Schenck isn't terrible. How about the Cav? Eh. Yeah, we'll put Sheridan in charge of that Cav there. That makes some sense. And it looks like 3rd Division in the now 1st Corps, replacing Sanford. Looks like a decent spot for... Well, what about... I'm just going to put Sherman in charge of 6th Corps. I mean, Lytle's not terrible, but he's obviously not great. It's not going to... Oh, that's McDowell. I don't think it's going to show his drop until after we... see. Okay, let's see what the effect was of... No, I don't think he lost anything. Cool. Okay, so now the 2nd and the 6th Corps are moving up. Let's get time rolling. Okay, River on 9 is now down here at Vicksburg doing some blockading action, keeping an eye out on Confederate movements in this area. Engineers are almost done with the telegraph here. I did notice that I had neglected to... Something is burning down there. Oh, catch up with your corps, McClellan. Okay, I'll buy it. Why are we not capturing Atlanta? What's up with that? I'm not seeing the bar. still supplied. I think that burning down message we saw was the Confederacy burning down the supply depot that Polk had built at Cassville before we defeated him. Still not understanding why we are not capturing Atlanta. How's our siege doing? Still going okay. It's not a super high advantage. Huh. What's the size of the... It is a little bit bigger garrison than normal. This is one of the big pre-war coastal forts. Yeah, I don't know if assaulting is a great idea there. We'll just let that percolate. Okay, and there's the army of the Shenandoah, which is another 13,000 men, so about 46,000 men-ish is the estimate. And we have about 60, almost 65,000 men here. Okay. And even though Hooker is outside the command radius, there's a possibility he might get pulled in to reinforce as well. Let's just bring the Army HQ over here. I don't know if McDowell's command radius will extend over the Blue Ridge or not. I don't think it will. Yeah, see how his limit stops there along the mountains? I don't know if that's really visible in the video or not. And of course he's just going to march right by the... Which means he might just precipitate the battle right there. And that would be okay. I mean, that's kind of what we're looking to do anyway, right? So... Just move 2nd Corps up. I want to make sure Hancock is kind of the lead corps. It's our best corps. And there we go. Okay, so we've got about 60,000-ish men among 2 corps against 36 plus 8, about 44,000, 45,000 among 3 corps-sized armies. And it's showing it's just Hancock's or McDowell's HQ right here, but it's more. He'll have at least one of these corps on the field at the battle's start. Right, so I'm going to put a cut in, get into the map, figure out what the situation is, deploy the forces. I'll be back. Right, okay, so here we are at the Battle of Charlottesville, and gave us a meeting situation with Confederate control over the objectives in the center of the map at Clover Hill and Appomattox Courthouse. There are 3 Confederate-owned entry points, so the Confederate corps could be kind of pretty much anywhere along the western side of the map, and depending on how far their deployment zone extended out, typically when it gives us the ownership, the deployment zone will extend out to cover those. So his deployment zone could actually be out along in here, in which case he may already be in Appomattox Courthouse. Per the HQ reports, there are already 2 of the 3 Confederate, I'm going to call them corps. They're corps-sized armies. There's already 2 out of the 3 Confederate corps on the field, with the 3rd, the Army of the Shenandoah, slated to arrive in 2 hours. So basically he's got all 3 of his corps. And we have both of ours. Hancock in the southeast, Sherman in the northeast, spawned to McDowell with Sherman's corps up here. He's right in here someplace. So, so this is going to be a little bit more fluid, I think, than how I typically fight these things. I try to kind of maneuver my way into a set piece sort of a deal most of the time. It's a little bit more problematic in this case because there are multiple Confederate corps that could be anywhere on the map. I think what is most likely to occur is that Hancock is going to come along this Prince Edward Courthouse Road into Appomattox, and Sherman will come down this Richmond-Lynchburg Road into Appomattox, and we will find the Confederates there. What is not as clear is what about the flanks, right? We'll find at least 1 Confederate corps here, but another one might be coming along this way. Another one could even be coming up from the south. And then one could come from the Oakville area and kind of, along this route through here. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. And for that reason, I would normally just kind of cut out a lot of the marching and stuff, but I'm gonna leave it running. So that's probably going to mean this is going to be a longer episode, even for me, and I tend to have longer episodes as it is. Fast forward, skip, whatever. And I've got cavalry kind of out here as best I could under the deployment zones available to go see if we can't find some Johnny Rebs before the infantry is too far out of position. I've got the infantry and artillery divisions all in march order to march along the roads with a minimum of loss of fatigue and cohesion. If I leave them in line position, either single or double line, and I tell them to go a good distance away, they will still go into column and march along the road. In column, what I'm looking to minimize is when they get to an ordered stopping point, they go back into line. That takes time, and and if there's forest and fences and crap around at that point, there almost always is, right, on just about any map. They lose cohesion doing that crap. I'd rather them just stay in column until I tell them to move again. And I move them division by division rather than just by ordering the entire army, because I find that way I can kind of do a little bit better traffic control and minimize them congesting and blocking each other. With varying degrees and success. I mean, there's still going to be some of that. Okay, let's get time rolling. The first thing I want to do is get the cav out. This is 12th Cav under Merritt. So let's move him. Let's put him about here. Tell him to put his scouts out. Make sure he brings his buddy. That might be superfluous. Sometimes the divisional commanders will just follow that brigade. Sometimes they don't. Okay, and then my other cav is here. 11th Cav. Scouts out. And let's go have him about the... Let's have him come up to the Woodson place. See what he sees. This division commander is Greg. First Cav, whose boss is Sheridan now. Let's have him go up here as far as the Woolridge place. With scouts out. And Custer, who's got Spencer repeating rifles now for his Wolverines. Let's bring him up to the Widow Legrand place here. It's probably backwards. I should probably have Custer in the division command and Negley somewhere else. But Custer in charge of the Wolverines brigade just made sense. I like it that way. Alright, let's get some infantry moving here. I'm actually going to pause just for a second. And I think we can bring Gibbon up as far as here. I don't need to do fallbacks and advances and charges and anything just yet. They're in marching order. Hamilton. Bring him here to Pleasant Retreat. And I'm doing one division at a time, because if I order all three, then they all start moving at the same time, and they're all just going to cluster right here and block each other. So I'm going to wait until the lead division starts to move. Then I issue the next order, and then by the time that order gets to division number 2, division number 1 is already moving out, and they won't get congested, is the idea. Sometimes it works out pretty. Sometimes it completely backfires and they all get clumped up anyway for some reason. Okay, so we can see here this division has already gotten its orders and is starting to move. So now I order Bernie's division to start moving. Bring him up to a position just behind the position that I gave Gibbon. Yeah, it's fiddly. I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of clicking. But but the troops get to their eventual positions, which we don't know exactly what they're going to be. They'll get there in better shape. That's why I do it this way. And ultimately, even though this feels slow and laborious, they'll actually get there faster because there's less congestion on the roads in game time, if not in, All right, these guys are going. I forgot exactly where I told them. Yeah, they're going there. Okay, and then we'll tell Thomas to just come up right behind him. And I'm going relatively short distances, because I don't want them running into, making contact. Okay, we're starting to see rebels. Cav has found the first position here. There's Tolliver with apparently a tiny brigade. 200. And that's not skirms. I mean, that's literally a skirm-sized brigade. 200 guys. Okay, let's move 11th. Now, that's just one corps, though. There could be others. That not could be. There are others. Okay, Thomas has gotten his movement order, so we can scooch Schenk up a little bit. About to here will do. And Sherman himself can move up here to Pleasant Retreat. McDowell is somewhere in here. There he is. I'm just going to go ahead and move him now to something kind of what's going to eventually be right between the two corps. Barlow can start moving. And even just with this one little spot, it's already becoming clearer kind of where our positions will wind up being. Kind of along in here. And I'm kind of thinking this creek will be a good demarcation line between the two corps. So we'll put Hancock's right along in here and Sherman's left kind of in this area. And we'll lay out Sherman kind of like this and Hancock kind of like this. Okay, our cav out in the flanks haven't yet seen anything. Okay, Custer just caught sight of something there. I didn't put Custer's scouts out. I don't think he needs scouts now. Let's just kind of ease Custer down this way. Did I not tell Bart? Yeah, he's just still waiting for his order, I think. Okay, Merritt, let's slide you kind of over in this direction. See if we can get better information on the size of the Confederate force, or their, how far up this way they come. Earthworks in here. Let's put Whiting over here. Sheridan gotten to? He has. Let's bring Sheridan up to Liberty Church. Okay, looks like their main position is kind of right here, right behind Plain Run Branch. or at least one of their corps' main position is that. Hopefully this cav up here can tell us if there's another corps along the Appomattox River there. Okay, first Hamilton is in position now, and we can tell him let's march him down in this area where we're planning to put Sherman's left flank, and he'll be in this area. When he's here, then we'll rotate and put him in line. See about artillery. Okay, somewhere right here astride this road looks like kind of a good first cut for where we're going to want artillery. Oh, and right in here for Hancock's Artie. I think I'm about 90+% sure that neither of these corps has any 6-pound field guns remaining. Okay, I wonder where these Johnny Rebs are moving to. Yeah, even with sequential step off, there's still some road congestion going on here between Thomas's and Schenk's divisions. Second Corps doing a little better, not a huge amount. There's a little bit of congestion. Yeah, it's not really too bad. Okay, Sheridan does have sight of another corps, and actually in a defensive position back here. That is pretty good. And that would indicate that these guys aren't planning to move. Let's just see what more he can see. I don't want the cav engaging. They're just it's a damn detachment. Let's bring Whiting over to the see if he can see anything in this area. Or Greg. I've gotten comments that it's completely superfluous, that all I have to do is detach the cav commander, and that way I could have two brigades. You know, and that hasn't worked for me, and I'm going to try it again here just to kind of why I have a division for each individual cav brigade, so that when they're spread out way like this, I minimize the order delay. It's just between the division and the brigade, not from the corps commander all the way to the division commander. And so I've read, if you just attach the division commander, you accomplish the same thing. I don't think so. Right now, if I detach Buford, which that'll take a second for him to get that order. Yeah, there's more, we don't have vision of a unit, because parapets do offer a concealment bonus in addition to cover. So, well, that's not a parapet, that's breastworks, but either way, you do get some concealment from breastworks and parapets. And that's why a lot of times in a parapet, you'll see the units kind of blink in and out a lot. It's that concealment. We can scooch these guys up just a little more, I think. Not the detachment. I don't think he needs the scouts anymore. Okay, so we'll form... No, I want Gibbon in the center. He's got regular infantry. I want my Mississippis and Henrys and stuff on the flanks. So I'm going to move Gibbon up to about here. And I'm going to move Bernie out to, no, not 7th Brigade. Bernie to about here. And we'll put Barlow over here. Where's Hancock himself? Let's bring Hancock up a little bit. Okay, these divisions are pretty much at their initial staging spots. Hamilton is covering this stretch with his brigades, so the next brigade up. Okay, this is 3rd Division. I'm going to want them out there on the flank. And even with the march order, they still get somewhat disrupted. We're going to bring Thomas's division up to about here. And 2nd Division right in here. Okay, so we may be able... At least one Confederate corps is back here and won't be involved in it. So Sheridan's just going to keep an eye on these guys. And they may not actually be involved in the battle that's going to develop around Clover Hill and Appomattox. And it doesn't look like there's anything up this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shift this cav to kind of a flank waiting position here. And as this develops, he may be able to deliver some flank attacks in this direction, or there's some open ground around here, so I think this may be a good spot from which to eventually work on the retreating forces at the end of the battle. And I think Buford can come over in that same area. Okay, so Buford is now detached, right? So now let's see. So there's a light faded dashed line to Sherman. He's still under Sherman's command. He's just attached. So let's see about order delay if I give Buford an order to come over here. Well, I'll be damned. Okay. He didn't wait. Off he goes. No order delay from sure. I could swear I've seen that before. Okay. All right. Well, I feel like an idiot. I've been laboring under a false impression for all of these campaigns I've fought and episodes I've recorded. And probably everybody watching is like, duh, everybody knows that. Okay. Alright, Hamilton can go into line. There's a lot of brigades along in here. And actually, right here, there's a lot of space, but his front's going to be constricted by this creek a little bit in here. So I'm going to put him in double line for a 2-brigade front. And he is facing this way. So the brigade should line up facing that way. We'll see if that works out. So if that's true about the division commanders, then if I detach a brigade, will it then not wait for orders? And if that's the case, then I have been using too many division commanders for Cav in this campaign. I mean, there's still this morale bonus here of having a commander nearby as I try to rationalize my choice. Well, I'm just going to test that. Let's detach Custer. He's close, but we'll see if there's an order delay when I then tell him to move a little bit. Okay, Custer is detached, so if I give him a movement order, am I going to see order delay here? After what I just saw, I'm thinking not. Come over here, Custer. Okay, there was order delay. So I think that's where I got my misunderstanding. There won't be order delay from Corps Commander to Division Commander if that Division Commander is detached. But if a brigade is detached, there will still be order delay. That order still has to come from the Division Commander. Okay, well, if that's true, then I still needed to organize my cav the way I did. So that I could have a cav brigade out on each flank far away from each other. Okay, and I'm going to so he's even detached. He still has the bonus for having the commander nearby, but he's got a malice because technically he's cut off. So I'm just going to reattach him. Take that malice away. Okay, so I think you guys have gotten the idea of, the maneuvering and how this is developing. And so I am going to go ahead and put a little bit of a cut in right here. Then I'll come back when, the positions are pretty much formed up, everybody's in line, and we get closer to actually advancing and starting the battle. So I'll be back. Right, so our corps are almost completely in position. We still have the flank divisions kind of moving up a little bit. But Hancock's corps is basically facing the main Confederate position this way, while Sherman's corps is at almost basically kind of like a 90-degree angle to deliver a flank attack. So my plan is initially going to come in from this direction, not all the way in, but want to engage this cav over here on the Confederate left, kind of drive this off, and then Barlow's division in 2nd Corps can move up and kind of deliver some flanking fire from here. He's got some high firepower rifles, Halls, and I think there may be some Sharps in here. No. He's got 2 brigades that have Hall rifles, and kind of break up right here in the confluence of these creeks here, and then try to, kind of roll up the Confederate position in this direction is my basic idea here. Sheridan is just going to keep watch on these units over here in the back. And let's get time rolling. And most of the artillery is in position now, unlimbered, and starting to fire. These are all Parrots here. And this is 3 battalions of 3-inch ordnance rifles. And the other battalions kind of, spread around are smoothbores. All 12-pound somethings, either 12-pound howitzers or 12-pound field guns or 12-pound Napoleons. And I got this guy moving up a little bit, getting range and LOS of these guys. Still waiting for Thomas's division to come up. Bernie almost in position. I'm going to go ahead and move him up to here. Bernie has 2 brigades equipped with Mississippis, Taylor and Tyler. Tyler, who was demoted from division command that he didn't deserve. And I am going to use those guys. I'm going to put skirms out from these. So we've got Mississippi 500-yard skirms. Send them up close enough to snipe at these artillery and the earthworks. We're starting to lose a little bit of vision here on the force, Confederate force. Well, they may decide to attack. We've got 2 pretty big Confederate brigades moving this way. Let's get some skirmishers out here and here. And from these 2 front brigades here. Oh, we got some skirms out here. Let's move Barlow up just a little bit in these woods so that artillery isn't quite so exposed. Put some skirmishers out from these 2 front brigades. Help screen that artillery. Oh, we've got a full brigade coming up to the creek. Is he going to cross the creek? Or is he just going to take cover in the creek? There's some cav coming up. Okay, press forward a little bit here. Oh, that's where all that gunfire was. Here, dismount. Fall back. I heard all that gunfire going on, and I was like, that sounds a little heavy for skirms. I didn't realize these guys were engaged over here. Oh yeah, he's taking a lot of losses. Oh, he's delivered a lot of losses too, though. Henry rifles. Okay, it's kind of driven them back for the moment, still continuing to fall back. Still got 44 rounds a man. These guys firing, yes. Let's go ahead and push Schenk up into this position here. And Thomas. Got these two cav brigades basically fighting an entire corps here. So far it's working out, but there's only so much ammo. Okay, I want to get these Mississippi skirmishers out. This howitzer work, and I don't think it's got line of sight. I'll move him. No. Let's get this howitzer over here. Deliver flanking fire into these forces. And instead of sniping that artillery, I think I'm going to do the same thing with these Mississippi rifle skirmishers. Oh my goodness. Why can't you... Why can't you just kind of like slide diagonally to the left, keeping your front? Oh, this isn't looking good. Oh, Custer broke because of the way that he exposed his flank while retreating, or falling back rather. All right. Custer might get defamed. He didn't reach loss resilience. Or resilience loss. $90 casualties here. 35. Okay, I don't think he's taking fire at the moment. We'll wait until he gets in that position, then I'm going to bug him out of there. Meanwhile, on the main front, what we got going on? Okay, we got some skirmishes. Oh, let's unlimber this artillery. Tom is still moving up into position there. Barlow's moving in. Once he gets up in here, he's going to be pouring a high rate of fire from on top of this hill. I didn't even realize how high that hill was. Down into this force. Skirmishers out of the way of the artillery, line of sight wise. All right, mount. And Get the hell out of here. And he's just going to go right through the... good luck with that. Who was that? Good luck with that, Sheridan. He'll probably just waltz right through him. There you go. There go Custer's guys. Not a stellar day for the Wolverines. Okay, these are 24-pound howitzers. Firing right into Stovall's brigade. Get some. Barlow getting engaged over here. Ease this brigade up a little bit into firing position. I think I can push Thomas. Not this brigade. This brigade here. Get this brigade across the creek. Stovall wavering here. How's our cap doing? Okay, got out of there. And Sherman's fine. Having just ridden through an entire Confederate corps on his way out. However, Bernie may need to reorient his division facing west. It's possible. This is our casualty situation. 3,000 to 1,500. Well, almost 1,600. Let's go ahead and pull those skirms in. They're going to break soon. I don't think these guys are getting shots. Oh no, I got him down in some kind of little valley there. Here, push up to about here with your 12-pound Napoleons. Push these skirms up a little bit to screen you. Okay, Thomas has got one brigade of those are Sharp's rifle guys across the creek. We'll form up, and then we'll kind of push along on both sides of the creek here. Okay, driven these skirmishers in. Guys in range. Why aren't you firing? Because you're on short freaking range, that's why. Not very good commander initiative there, John Sedgwick. I don't feel like I should have had to told you to should have had to tell you to do that. Okay, let's bring Stevenson's brigade up to about here. I'm going to get White across the creek as well. Recently I've been just trying to let the brigade commanders pick their own firing ranges. Kind of worked out okay, I think, in the last battle. It's not doing so hot here. Stovall still taking fire from these howitzers. Yeah, 1,100 casualties. Okay, so we don't have sight on that other corps up there anymore. Let's move Palmer to about up to here so we can keep an eye on that. Did Custer stop and rally anywhere? Doesn't look like it. Oh no, there he is. He's here with McDowell. Or Hancock, rather. Let's put Hancock on... Where's your division commander? Here. Come over here, Negley. Rally your guys. It's actually shifting back in the other direction. I'm not a big fan of that. D's brigade hotly engaged here from multiple brigades on our side. high ground there. Let's just move that brigade up a little bit. Oh, I had that backwards. It's moving in our direction. Right, I'm going to limber up this artillery and move it before we start having an issue up here. I am going to reorient Bernie's division this way. Okay, we got some breaking Confederate forces now here in this. Kind of got them in a little bowl there, sort of. It's 1800. Sunset in July, not till 2100, so we still have 3 hours here. $6,500 to a little over 2,000 casualty ratio. What are these guys doing here? Looks like they're just hanging out. Okay. White's, who still hasn't gotten the order to go long range. Okay, we've taken that objective. Does have his flank kind of hanging out a little bit. Let's bring this cav up over here. Scouts there. 7,500 to 2,500, 16.3%. Thinking this is probably going to be done before sunset, and even if it's not, they'll withdraw overnight. I'm like 99% sure. Alright, Keys, find something to shoot at there. That looks like a fine target right there. Here, get that guy. Hatch has got a fresh brigade. I'm going to push him, as soon as he's lined up here, I'm going to push him through Manson and let him take over. I think we're pretty much at that retreat before the retreat phase that happens. Start just bringing the cav in. Mounted fire. Chase guys around. Is there anything unbroken left in this cauldron? Doesn't look like it. This one wavering brigade here. Posey's trying to hang tough. Oh, well, they got up there and then they never faced the correct direction. Alright, Hatch. Have a turn. Let's go ahead and advance all the way up to here. Kind of nothing left to shoot at, really. Let's advance these guys up through here. He's out of his. Here, Thomas, get up here. Trying to get him to charge. I'm not getting him to cross swords. No. Looks like Posey broke. Yeah. Alright. Well, there's kind of nothing left to shoot at. See if we can get those guys on cold steel. They're already broken. I don't know if they're actually going to do anything useful. maybe if we can... Nope. It's not giving me the cross swords. But if they're in cold steel mode, will they just charge? Give them a attack order? I think those guys can just unlimber again. Yeah, it's not letting me charge. I was thinking maybe if I charge, maybe I can get him to capture. You're not doing anything. Well, it's not active. Did I press the wrong... Did I do scouts instead of cold steel? I don't think so. Nope. Momentarily got a charge there. Can't do it. Retreating 14. This might wind up a minor victory. So close, too. And that's because there's still these unengaged Confederate forces up this way that I'm certainly not going to be able to engage in time. That's alright. All these corps are still going to have to retreat, regardless. Just 10x to the end here. Had a lot of batteries continuously firing in this one. I'm interested to see how they did. Okay, so we lost about 2,500 men. A very few guns. Did take some cavalry losses over there in the west. Custer and Palmer, or Sheridan and Negley, I guess. Almost half of our losses were Cav over there. And then he loses about half of his guns. 1,500 Cav on his side. 7,500 infantry. It says minor federal. Sometimes when you exit out back to the campaign map, it gives you a different result. Pretty evenly distributed casualties inflicted between the two corps. A little bit higher for 2nd Corps, which kind of surprises me a little bit. Who delivered the most casualties? 1st Division with the Hall Rifles, that makes sense. And 2nd Division, Gibbon in the middle. Okay. 6th Division, that would have been Sheridan's. Almost 1,000 casualties. Custer didn't do... Negley and Custer didn't do much. And that's because I was telling him to fall back, and reoriented that brigade toward that position and then exposed his flank. And that's what did it. If I had just told Custer to fall straight back relative to his existing position, I think he would have been fine. And already, all told, in this corps, 411. That's a little bit less than I would have liked. Were these, I think 6th battery was the 24-pound howitzers. They didn't do as much as I would have thought from that range. But pretty consistent, like most of the batteries had shots and did damage. So it was even, fairly even. I don't know which battalion DBAT was. That may have been the one way over on the left by Tyler. And then in 6th Corps, yeah, 1st Division was kind of in reserve there near the creek. They didn't really have a good spot to advance through. And then fairly evenly distributed between 2nd and 3rd Division. Yeah, 4th Brigade was the one kind of in reserve behind Malin. And how did their artillery do? Okay, artillery on this side did a little bit, almost 1,200 casualties, which is pretty good for artillery in this game. 264, 250, yeah. 6th Corps artillery did nice. Okay. Yeah, it's going to stay a minor. It's still a pretty big Confederate national morale drop and a good experience rise for us. I think those numbers are derived more from the numbers of troops involved rather than whether it's a major or minor. I think the major minor kind of depends on how the losing side comes out for readiness and morale and condition on the campaign map. I think. Yeah, Custer got defamed. Well, maybe if he has a bad reputation when the war ends in this alternate universe, then maybe he doesn't get a command after the war, and maybe Little Bighorn doesn't happen. So maybe it's all for the good. Oh my goodness. Okay, I know it's been a long episode, but let's just advance time just enough to see where these guys. Yep, they're going to Stanton, Hooker. Select Hooker. Damn it. There we go. Alright, 1st Corps, come down here and push these guys out. Oh! Stanton's considered Union. So they can't retreat there. Nice. They're going to have to go to... I don't know where the hell they're going to go. Do they have to go all the way to Danville? I see no reason not to just move right into Lynchburg. Go. Go, go, go. Take the train if it lets you. Okay, we got our breadbasket 2 done. Wrong tab. What's our... We're still at BBB. Imports more lucrative for the government. Protect the nation's own industries. And the downside is relations with Europeans. We do not have a strong threat of intervention. So I think Tariff Act will probably help our economy, which may kind of delay having to go to government funding. At this point in the campaign, I don't think it matters that much. I'm just gonna do Tariff Act. Not really analyzing that a whole lot there. Okay, we've got Johnny Reb on the run in the east now, as well as the west. These armies have been beat up pretty good. They still remain kind of the main Confederate force, taken together. Hooker's moving down to Stanton, and I think will soon be back within the command radius of McDowell's HQ. And before I tap out here, any progress on this? Not really. About the same at Fort Macon. All right, that will do for this episode, which I think I haven't really kept an eye on the clock, but I know it's pretty long. In any case, if you're still here, thank you very, very much for watching.